Hey everyone, so today I'll be going over a Node.js module called Letlog, and this module allows you to simply log a variable name to the console, and the module will take the name of the variable you passed in and attach it to the output as a label. So you can see a quick example here. There's a promote variable. You pass it into Letlog. Letlog takes that and attaches it as a label. So we'll go over some examples, and this is their documentation, and I'll go over their documentation in a more visual way by providing examples. So let's jump in here. We'll first install Letlog. Let's get that installed. Okay, and then let's do a basic example here. We'll say Letlog require, Letlog, we'll call the log function. Now we'll create just a simple variable. We'll call it price. We'll set it equal to 534. And then we will log this out using Letlog. And we'll run this example file. So you can see here, all we did was pass in a variable, nothing else. And it took that and attached it as a label for us. So if you do a lot of Node.js and you have big files, big projects, and you're doing a lot of debugging, you're probably doing a lot of this right here, which is, price, and then you're printing out, price. And doing this one time is not an issue, but when you're trying to debug a huge file and you're typing this little label out 100 times, 200 times a day, that gets really tedious, and it just kind of a pain in the butt. So that's what this module is kind of solving. You're reducing this to just this, and this module also lets you to configure preferences and options. So we'll go over that right now. So we can specify some custom options, and the default options are here in the documentation. So I'll go over these real quick. So the separator is set to colon by default, and the separator is this little guy right here. So it's what goes in between the label and the variable output. So it's just default at semicolon, but we'll change that here. The case is, uppercase, lowercase, or just nothing. So like right now it's set to nothing. So I'll give you an example here. So if we change price variable to look like this, when we output that, it's going to keep that casing. So we can set that to uppercase, lowercase, or just leave it here. Function is what you're going to be using to log things. So this is the function. So this is default. If you change this, you're going to have to specify it in the function option. So I'll go over example later on how to do that. Color is the text color, background color, and the style, italic, bold. So we'll go ahead, we'll copy these default options, and we'll kind of mess around with them and kind of see the different options. So for separator, let's do an arrow like this. I do this sometimes, so we'll see what that looks like. Oops. Oh, sorry. Forgot to pass in my options. So let's do Letlog options, and we will pass in our custom options here. So let's go ahead and run this again, and you can see there's an arrow separator, and we can also put in a space here if you prefer that. Let's try a different one, and let's set the case to upper, so you can do upper or lower, but we'll just do upper for now. So we'll go through there. So label is now uppercase, and this is our separator. And let's change some other things. Let's try background blue. And by the way, in the documentation, it lists all the options you can use for the color, background color, and style. So we'll do a blue background, and it's kind of hard to see right now on my black screen. Let's try a different color. Let's do I don't know. Let's do a white background with red. Red text. So okay, so now the labels change. So this, this is an easy way to make it more identifiable when you have, tons of output. All right, hold on. Let me get rid of this crap. All right. And then we'll just do a quick example with style. We'll say italics. There we go. So now it's italicized, if that's the right word. And so these are kind of just different ways you could customize it to, how you want it. And also, you don't have to specify all these options. So if I get rid of color and I only specify these, whatever you don't specify, it'll default to the defaults. So, that's simple enough. So let's go over a different example of custom options or how you can call Letlog. So let's call this logger. We're going to get rid of this. We're not going to specify that. And then down here, we will do, logger.options. And now if we try to run this, it's going to break because we're not using the default options and we haven't specified the new function we're trying to use. So in order to do that, so down here, we're going to have to say logger and then call that log function. So, let me get rid of this. This is bugging me. So logger.log, and now we're going to have to specify that in the function as we're changing the default of it. So now if we say logger.log, there's no problem. So that's another way you can call this. I just like the default. It's really simple. I don't have to say, logger.log or console.log. You just say letlog and throw in the variable. So that's really simple. Also, these options are set globally. So if you're using it, once you set these, it's going to take apart throughout any file. So these are kind of basic examples. Let's actually set up a simple web app. So we'll do a web app example. So let's we'll set up Express. Should have done this beforehand. Sorry about that. But this would be a good example of kind of the flow of it in a web app. So let's say server app.listen 8080 localhost and nothing there. So we'll use letlog here to print out our address that we're listening on. So we'll use that. Let's not forget to include this up here. Log. Alrighty. So we'll do that. Let's create some routes. Just a basic route. Routes user.js app. So let's go ahead and create that. New folder routes. New file user.js. So we'll go ahead. We'll require letlog over here, as you would expect. And let's create a route down here. Exports. Zip. Bing bada boom. Say app.get get user and then we will log, let's log the, we'll pass in a parameter, we'll log that. Alright, I think that should be good. We'll see. Alright, so let's run that. So let's say app. Oh, I'm installing special fast. Oh wow, did that just work? Very nice. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, so you can see we passed in server.address as a variable, and it labeled it for us right here, nice and neat. So let's go ahead and let's let me zoom in here. So let's curl that route we created. I believe that was /user, and we're specifying a name parameter, and we will say the dangler, my YouTube name, Twitch name. Let's curl that, and you can see down here request that query.name and the dangler. So that's really nice. Definitely just a good way to, again, label variables in your output, and usually when you're debugging you're going to have a bunch of garbage in your console. So this is a nice way to quickly just tack on labels. And I know when I'm programming, 95% of the time the variable I'm printing out, the label I attach to it is the same as the variable name. So this is really helpful when it comes to that. So yeah, this is kind of just some walkthroughs on how to use this. It's super helpful. It just, it makes it a little bit easier, a little less tedious. So, I'll put in the links to the GitHub and the npm package site link, and I definitely recommend checking it out, trying to use it. I definitely love it. I use it in all my projects now. So I hope you guys liked today's video. If I missed anything, let me know. I appreciate any feedback. If you enjoyed the content, I'd love a thumbs up on the video, and subscribing really helps out the channel. But thanks for stopping by, and have a great day.